Life is short. Stop being weak. You forget that you are dying. You move through the day as if you were exempt from the law of endings, as if the clock were not quietly subtracting from your life with every breath. You soothe yourself with small rituals of comfort. You confuse movement with progress, and you call this survival balance. But time is not sentimental. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't slow down because you're tired. It doesn't pause because you're uncertain. It keeps going, indifferent to your excuses, deaf to your complaints. And one day, sooner than you think, you will realize you have run out of later. The man you could have been will stand at the edge of your memory like a silhouette you can't touch, and you will understand that potential is the saddest currency, valuable only before it expires. Comfort is a patient assassin. It does not rush. It sits with you, makes you feel safe, arranges your pillows, dims the lights, and tells you that hard things can wait for tomorrow. It doesn't look like an enemy. It looks like a friend who understands. It will nod when you say you're overwhelmed. It will applaud when you choose easy over necessary. It will say you deserve a break, and then another, and then another. Until what used to be resilience calcifies into softness, and what used to be hunger corrodes into guilt. Comfort convinces you that pain is a malfunction rather than a message, that tiredness is proof you should stop rather than proof you are moving. But comfort has a bill, and it collects with interest. The longer you hide from necessary pain, the more you are taxed by unnecessary suffering, regret, restlessness, mediocrity, the quiet shame of knowing you are smaller than your promise. Weakness spreads in the dark like mold. It starts with one skipped dawn, one promise delayed, one tiny betrayal you excuse with a clever story. You say you are reorganizing your priorities, you call it recovery. You say you will reset next week. You repeat this enough times and the story becomes your identity. The modern world will reward this. If you are exhausted, it will sell you stimulation. If you are sad, it will sell you numbness. If you are lonely, it will sell you strangers' approval packaged as meaning. A weak man is profitable, compliant, predictable, easily redirected. He will argue online. He will buy new distractions. He will avoid mirrors and pursue applause. He will drift. He will be manageable. He will never threaten the order of things because he has not mastered the order within himself. Strength is alarming because it cannot be rented. A strong man is not for sale. He is not shaped by the market's latest mood. He has a spine that refuses to bend for cheap rewards, a mind that does not beg for permission to be focused, a schedule that is built around his purpose rather than his impulses. He is dangerous to any system designed to keep men dulled and distracted, not because he is reckless, but because he is awake. He does not need constant novelty to feel alive. He puts repetition on the altar and calls it worship. He does not mistake convenience for freedom. He knows that the price of freedom is responsibility, and he pays it in full every day. Discipline is redemption in motion. You cannot erase the years you wasted, but you can pay for them. Each strict morning is a payment. Each set finished after your lungs burn is a payment. Each hour of deep work while the rest of the world dissolves into temptation is a payment. Discipline is not cruelty. It is purification. It is the fire that burns away the lies you told yourself, the excuses you wrapped around your fear, the softness that made you negotiable. When you choose to do what you said you would do, especially when it hurts, you rebuild a private covenant with yourself. Trust grows, and with trust comes power. The man who trusts himself doesn't need luck to move. He needs only time and persistence, and both are available until they aren't. Pain is the toll gate between who you are and who you intend to become. Most people see the gate and turn around, then spend the rest of their lives telling stories about why the other road was better. They say it wasn't their season. They say the conditions weren't ideal. They say the universe sent them a sign to rest. The truth is simpler and colder. The gatekeeper asked, "How badly do you want it?" And they answered with silence. But the man who walks through the toll gate learns the geometry of growth. He learns that suffering chosen with purpose sharpens the spirit, that self-imposed hardship makes him immune to the lesser trials that break ordinary men. He becomes calm under pressure because he has rehearsed discomfort in private. He becomes durable because he stops treating pain as an emergency and starts treating it as information. Look directly at yourself. Not the curated version that chases admiration, not the mask that performs. Stand in front of a mirror and hold your own gaze long enough for the noise to die down. Ask the brutal questions. Do you keep your word when no one is watching? Do you honor your schedule when you're not in the mood? Do you reach for the difficult first, before it becomes impossible? Do you tell the truth, especially to yourself? A man can get lost for years in minor deceptions. He can build an entire personality on top of avoidance. He can learn how to speak the language of excellence while living the grammar of excuses. The mirror does not negotiate. It shows what you are. And if what you are is smaller than what you claim, you have work to do. Good. That means there is still a fight left. Ownership is the foundation of transformation. When you decide that everything is your fault, not because it literally is, but because claiming it gives you leverage, you stop bleeding power into the world. No more blaming the algorithm, the economy, the town, the parents, the weather, the timing, the friends who don't understand. Ownership turns obstacles into operations. Instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What is the next exact action within my control?" You move from vague ambition to specific behaviors. You decide what your morning is for, what your body is for, what your mind is for. You remove hostage negotiations from your day. The workout is not optional. The work block is not optional. The clean food is not optional. The bedtime is not optional. You stop bargaining with weakness like it has something to offer you. It has nothing. Rituals forge identity. Wake early, not because it is fashionable, but because it is war against inertia. Train with intent, not to collect compliments, but to manufacture clarity. Eat with discipline, not to please a mirror, but to sharpen your decision-making. Read deliberately, not for trivia, but to train your attention to hold steady under pressure. Plan your day in ink and defend it like territory. Guard the first and last hour of your day from the world's theft. These are your borders. When you string enough days like this together, momentum takes on a life of its own. You become the kind of man whose baseline is progress. And when chaos arrives, as it always does, your rituals catch you. They are rails that keep the train moving when the weather turns ugly. Your environment is speaking to you. The clutter on your desk is not neutral, it is a vote. The apps on your home screen are not decorations, they are levers. The people you tolerate are not background characters. They are shaping your thresholds for effort, language, and standards. If you surround yourself with men who complain, you will become fluent in reasons to quit. If you surround yourself with men who move, you will become allergic to hesitating. Adjust the room. Rearrange your tools. Upgrade your inputs. Treat your attention as a scarce resource. Every click, every scroll, every casual conversation that leaves you emptier than before is a tax on your future. Cut the tax. Build an operating system that makes the right thing easier to start and harder to escape. There will be days when nothing works, when your energy is low, your mind is noisy, and your body feels heavy. These days are not special. They are not a referendum on your potential. They are part of the terrain. On these days, reduce the size of the promise but keep the integrity of the promise. If you planned 90 minutes, give 45. If you planned 10 sets, give 5 clean ones with total presence. If you planned 1,000 words, deliver 300 that move the project forward. The point is not to impress yourself. The point is to maintain continuity. Momentum is a fragile animal at first and a ferocious ally later. Feed it daily. Even crumbs count, especially on the days you're tempted to starve it. You do not need more motivation. You need a decision. Motivation is weather. It changes. Decision is climate. It defines. When you decide that you are done being weak, something beneath language shifts. Your excuses stop sounding persuasive even to you. Your body learns the shape of discipline the way a river learns its banks. You no longer spend mornings negotiating with your tasks like a politician bargaining for votes. You simply begin. You understand that excellence is quiet and repetitive, more sweat than speeches, more calendars than crowds. You understand that boredom is not the enemy, it is the threshold. If you can cross the boredom barrier without flinching, you can outlast most of the world. The average man quits when the work becomes unromantic. The uncommon man keeps going until unromantic becomes sacred. Focus is your scarcest luxury. Attention applied deeply for sustained periods turns ordinary effort into compound returns. Every session of real focus makes the next session easier to enter. Train yourself to go deep. Turn off notifications. Close the door. Put the phone in another room. Set a single target and stay with it longer than is comfortable. When your mind wanders, bring it back without drama. This is not punishment, it is practice. Hours like these accumulate into identity. You begin to recognize yourself as a man who does hard things in silence. And that recognition is fuel. Not the loud kind that burns hot and dies, but the cold kind that hums with certainty. It says, "This is who I am now." No audience required. You will be misunderstood. People who are committed to their comforts will call you extreme. People who fear their own mirror will call you arrogant. People who drown their potential in distraction will call you obsessed. Smile. Let them talk. They have surrendered the right to critique the battle they refuse to fight. Your life is not a democracy. You are the custodian of a mission, not the host of a variety show. You are building a spine, not a fan club. If you need applause to move, you will only move where applause is available. That is a terrible compass. Move in the direction of responsibility. Choose the path that makes you stronger. Choose the task that builds a future version of you, powerful enough to carry more than himself. Do not wait for the perfect plan. Start with a simple one and iterate aggressively. Define 3 non-negotiables. Train your body, advance your work, guard your mind. Do them daily, poorly if necessary, perfectly when possible, relentlessly either way. Track inputs, not outcomes. You cannot control the speed of results, but you can absolutely control the consistency of behaviors. The man who shows up will beat the man who waits to feel ready. Read that again. Read it every morning if you must. Read it until your nervous system understands that readiness is a side effect of action, not a prerequisite. The cost of hesitation is invisible until it's irreversible. Every moment you delay, you lose 2. The one you waste and the one you could have built. Opportunity rarely knocks twice. It whispers once and leaves. Most men miss it because they're busy doubting, calculating, or waiting for confirmation that never comes. Hesitation feeds on comfort and starves courage. Each time you choose to delay, you reinforce the identity of a man who does not act. And once that identity solidifies, breaking it feels like breaking bone. The only cure for hesitation is execution. Not inspiration, not affirmation. Action, raw, unpolished, imperfect, but done. Because done builds momentum, and momentum redeems everything. Time is the only currency that doesn't accept negotiation. You can't invest it, borrow it, or refund it. You can only spend it. Every day you trade pieces of your existence for something. Sometimes a goal, sometimes a distraction. Most men die poor because they spent their time on things that didn't compound. Treat your time like oxygen in a collapsing room. Spend it where it multiplies your strength, not where it flatters your weakness. Every wasted hour is a withdrawal from your future self's potential. Time is debt, and the interest rate is death. Pay attention to how you spend it. You were not born to be comfortable. You were born to evolve. Fire refines metal, and pressure reveals integrity. You don't become strong by avoiding difficulty. You become strong by training your nervous system to function under it. A man's character is not built in peace, and it's built in conflict. You cannot sculpt steel with kindness. You sculpt it with heat and resistance. Treat every hard day as practice for the inevitable storm. Because storms are not punishments, they are exams. And life keeps testing the same lesson until you learn it. No one is coming to save you. Legacy is the residue of discipline. You won't be remembered for what you intended, only for what you executed. A man's legacy isn't built in a single act of brilliance. It's forged in the accumulation of small, unseen victories. Every decision to stay cold, focused, and faithful to the mission becomes invisible architecture beneath your name. Build quietly, move deliberately. When you die, let the world argue about your methods while standing in the structures your discipline built. That is legacy. Strength is the last religion. In a world of distraction, decadence, and excuses, the disciplined man is sacred. He does not kneel before emotions or trends. He worships consistency. He practices silence. He serves truth, even when it hurts. He has no idols, only standards. When you meet a man like this, you feel it. His presence has gravity. His words cut through the noise. His discipline speaks louder than anyone's opinions. Be that man. Build that gravity. Life is short. Stop being weak. Stop waiting for permission. Stop treating your dreams like side projects. Time is running out. And that's the gift. The countdown is what makes every action sacred. Every rep, every morning, every meal, every hour of focus. They are your rebellion against decay. Be relentless. Be exact. Be awake. You are running out of time. Good. That means the mission is real. Do the work. Burn the weakness. Build the strength. Become the signal.